All right, rolling right on to Black's commons here. First up, we've got Crawl from the Cellar. This is single black for a sorcery. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Put a +1/+1 counter on up to one target zombie you control, and that is flashback for 3 and a black.
Yeah, I mean, this is a kind of a riff on cards we've seen before, where Blood Beckoning from Zendikar Rising kind of feels a little bit like that.
Yeah.
And sometimes, put a counter on a Decayed creature. We were noting before how the difference between like a 3-power Decayed creature and a 2-power Decayed creature might feel, reasonably different. So I like this card. It's definitely going to be one of those cards you're like, yeah, I'll play a copy of these, and maybe you pick up 2 bombs along the way, and this card gets even better.
Yeah, I'd say you don't have to, like, C-, like, you don't have to prioritize it, but I'd say 1 copy in probably most black decks.
Yeah, I think I just give it a solid C myself. But all right, moving on to Duress. This is a single black mana sorcery. Target opponent reveals their hand. You choose a non-creature, non-land card from it. That player discards that card. But give this a sideboard, but probably not even sideboard. Like, it's often likely that it's most likely you don't even want to sideboard this card in. So
the other awkward thing is, like, what are the kinds of spells you're going to want to discard?
Yeah.
Are ones with flashback, and this doesn't even exile it. This card is
exactly.
It's like even worse
pretty brutal
in this set than it normally would be.
All right.
Eaten Alive is next. Single black for a sorcery. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sack a creature or pay 3 and a black. Exile target creature or planeswalker.
Nice. So this is the first common black removal spell we've seen, and I gotta say, I did a quick scan of the set this morning. I was pretty disappointed that there isn't some removal spell with like a plague or like sickness kind of flavor to it, because then you can't say when your disturbed creatures died, you can't say they got down with sickness.
Wow. Wow. Good God.
Well, yeah.
How long did you need to
4 minutes.
concoct that?
4 hours.
Just stayed up all night going.
No, I was just waiting for the moment.
I'm sure there's something there.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Ooh, wow. Okay.
Anyways, Eaten Alive is a really good card. I actually, we've seen variants on this. Again, another card we've seen variants of. I think it's tough. On a serious note, we've got a few good removal spells in Black and Common, and this one might be the best. I'm not sure. There's like a lot in contention, but we're gonna say it. We've said it before. We're gonna say it again. This is another way to use your decay tokens.
Yeah. I mean, 3 black for a sorcery, exile target creature.
Not awful.
That's not bad. That's like a C.
Yeah.
The fact that this is flexible like this,
yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if I'm going B-, but I'm definitely going C+.
Yeah, I'll go. Man, I think just like having this be modal, but also like having it.
And exile is nice.
Yeah,
exile is relevant.
I think there's enough stuff here. Where
you want to go B-?
I'm gonna go B-. Yeah,
right.
It's fine. This is very different from Final Blow, I would say, because that you're going to be able to not feel bad about using the 1 mana mode.
Yeah,
all the time.
I'm into B-.
Great, yeah. All right, next up we've got Rotten Reunion. This is a single black mana instant. Exile to 1 target card from a graveyard. Create a 2/2 black zombie creature token with Decayed. Flashback, 1 and a black.
This might be sneaky good.
Yeah, it feels like this is a sideboard card I actually feel okay about. Where it's like your opponent's got a lot of disturb stuff or flashback stuff, and like you're getting a little bit of value on, messing up their yard a little bit. If you have uses for the zombies, I don't know. Seems maybe a little too low impact.
So I think it's at its base this gets a sideboard grade. You bring this in,
yeah.
But it's hard to imagine like when you get to snag a flashback or a disturb with this, you're gonna be a happy camper.
Right.
You have to tack this on too. You want I think this might be just a secret blue-black card.
Mm-hmm.
But if I have a deck where if I'm trying to do what I think Decayed is trying to do, I think this might be a playable card. I'm not high on this. This is probably like a D+, C- or whatever. But I think this looks like an F, and I definitely don't think it is. And I think it also looks like a sideboard card, and I think there are going to be times where you're happy to main deck this.
I think if you transcribed everything you just said and showed it to somebody and said, "Who said this, Alex or Ethan?" A lot of people would lose that bet. It sounds like an Alex thing, where it's like, well, but no, I agree with the things he said for sure. I think the baselines we set were pretty clear, and yeah, they might have a place.
I'm gonna go C-. I'm gonna be optimistic on this card.
For sure, yeah. All right, what's up next?
Next up is Ecstatic Awakener. This is a single black for a 1/1. It's a human wizard. You pay 2 and a black, sacrifice another creature, draw a card, then transform Ecstatic Awakener. Activate only once each turn, and transforms into just a 4/4.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
I kind of like this.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. This is just good.
Okay, yeah. Cool. We're on the same page.
1 mana 1/1. It's a sack outlet, which black-white is going to want.
Mm-hmm.
Again, like, decayed the format. This just turns your decayed card into a card. Your decayed token into a card. And then you get turn your 1 mana 1/1 into a 4/4?
Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
Is this a C+?
C+, yeah.
Holy
this
cow.
It's like a synergy card, but also just like a good base rate. So yeah, I really like this one.
Wow.
All right, next up we've got an old favorite. We got Blade Brand. 1 and a black, instant. Target creature gains death touch until end of turn. Draw a card.
So what are the applications of this?
Well, there are a few. I can't remember them offhand, but there is some number of things that ping. Okay. Not a lot. I don't think you can go full Porky Parrot every turn kill something if memory serves. But there are a few little things here and there. There's those devil tokens on a card or two that we saw the last time around. But the thing that sticks out to me about this card is that it, number one, enables a death if that's all you really care about with the morbid stuff. But also kind of has that consider thing going on where it's like if you want to keep it day, you go cast this, cast something else if you really need to, right? As a cantripping card. Yeah,
if you want to get it back to day.
Yeah.
And decayed, right? Your opponent thinks they can just eat your 2/2 with their 3/3 or whatever.
Yeah.
And you go, gotcha.
Yeah, and also this card, the last time we saw it was just a fine card a lot of the time. Like there was
the last card Ravnica Legions, or have we seen it since then?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
And there was synergies for sure. There's the Dagger Caster combo and a few other things. But you know what this does? This does the other thing that Spectacle did, right? Where it's like, I need to block my opponent's vampires, right? You block, your thing's gonna die.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yes, right, because you don't want them to connect to trigger this stuff.
Exactly.
All of this, I think, adds up to
a C. I think a C. You're like fine playing this card. You're not going to pick it highly.
I'm gonna go C-. C-.
Sure. Yeah, C- is totally fine. Yeah.
All right, Novice Occultist is next. This is 1 and a black for a 1/2 human wizard. When it dies, you draw a card and you lose a life.
So more for your black-white sacrifice deck.
Fodder here.
Yeah, nice little curve of that 1 drop into this and to transform it on turn 3.
Jeez, yeah, that's nasty.
Not bad at all.
I think this is probably fine filler C- territory.
Yeah, I think so as well. You'll know when you want more than 1 copy of this, right? Where you're like,
for sure.
I'm really doing the sacrifice thing.
Yeah, move over Charmed Stray though. But I guess that Charmed Stray gave it to you on ETB.
Yeah.
All
right. Next up, we've got Olivia's Midnight Ambush. So this is 1 and a black for an instant. Target creature gets -2/-2 until end of turn. If it's night, that creature gets -13/-13 instead.
This is good.
Yeah,
it's gonna kill stuff. Like it'll be able to kill most things in the first few turns of the game when you want to do that, and then later in the game, it's just murder.
Yeah, this so I was pretty shocked. So we had seen the Fenestrate, which is a card we're gonna get to in a second, and we also saw that the 1 mana sack creature kill something. Exile something card before the full set came out today, and I was surprised that black gets yet another pretty good removal spell. Right, so we got like these 3, removal spells volume per position here. You're not going to be short on removal in your black decks, I don't think. This
is nuts.
This is a good card. Yeah, this is an actively good card.
This seems like a B to me.
Well, that's really high, but I guess I'm not that far off.
When you're like, there's a 5/5 I need to kill, you just go past the turn. Like,
that's a good
you
point.
can't, like, if you want it to be night next turn, it will be night. No one can mess with that.
Yeah, that's a great point. Okay.
I think this card is.
Let's go B.
I think it's a B. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're totally right. Cool.
Cool.
right, let's keep going.
Yeah, I agree. This feels like an uncommon, but as we get there, black will have some nutty uncommons. Here we go. Siege Zombie, 1 and a black, 2/2 creature zombie. Tap 3 untapped creatures you control. Each opponent loses 1 life. We don't get Thermo Alchemist at common, but we do get this, and I think this is a cool game plan.
Yeah, this like all the reservations I have about the other zombie cards, might not be good enough, but if it is, this is a good piece, right? This is another way to this is a way to close up the game after you've like stalled up the board and have a bunch of decay tokens. So yeah. I'm gonna give this, I don't know, Synergy C+ probably.
Yeah, Synergy C+ seems good.
Yeah.
I mean, you could even call this a build around, to be honest.
Yeah, I think so too.
But I just think like it's at common, and you'll know about this game plan if you want it.
Next up is another reprint. We've got Vampire Interlopers. This is 1 and a black for a 2/1 flyer, but it can't block.
So someone is saying, yes, we should go back to the removal spell. If nothing has caused things to be day or night, sure, passing will not make it night.
Right.
There are there's so many things in the format.
It's gonna happen a lot. Yeah.
It's one of the headliner mechanics that I will be shocked for there to be a lot of games of limited that don't have day or night come into play.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it will not be hard in the later turns. And like I said, early in the game, it's -2/-2 for 2 mana. It's great.
Yep.
When I saw Interloper, I was like, oh, damn. Interloper was real good back in the day.
I think it might be better in this format.
I think it's better in this set, yeah.
So that format had some problems where there was like 1/1 spirits lying around, and there was like Geist Flame and stuff to pick it up. And this is kind of exactly what the Vampire deck wants. I was talking before when we were at the gold card saying it's going to be very feast or famine if you don't get your engine online with the Vampires, and this is a pretty darn good way to do it, right?
This is feast, baby.
Yep.
C+?
I'm going to start C, I think. The downside, of course, of Can't Block is still pretty real, but it's a good enabler. I think you're definitely going to want it in your Vampire deck. Maybe it is C+, because it might be like really important to you.
It's hard to imagine a deck that doesn't want to play this.
I mean, it's not great outside of the deck, like outside of a Vampire deck that wants to enable it. This isn't a fantastic card.
Everyone hates playing a 2-drop that can attack. Like, are you kidding? Like,
Especially me.
You have to play 2-drops in this set, first of all. Like, you need a critical mass so that you don't get, run over by people going turn 2 werewolf.
Uh-huh. But you're gonna get run over by this. Oh, I see.
To stop them from flipping is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I think this card not blocking is a pretty big downside.
This is C+. This card rocks.
All right. There, I'm going to say C+ in the Vampire deck.
First time in the history of the world that Ethan has liked an aggro card more than Alex. I don't know what the hell is happening, but this is...
I will settle C+ in the Vampire deck, and you probably don't actually want it, is my take in the other decks. But we'll see.
Arrogant Outlaws next is 2 and a black for a 3/2 Vampire Noble. When it enters the battlefield, if an opponent lost life this turn... Well, take it. You lose more life. Each opponent loses 2 life, and you gain 2 life.
Yeah. Better or worse than Vampire Spawn on average?
Worse.
Yeah, I think so too.
This is fine. This is filler. C-.
This is filler. Yeah, totally. Don't have to spend too long on it.
I don't even think Vampire decks, whatever. They'll be fine with it.
All right, next up we've got Blood Pact, 2 and a black for an instant. Target player draws 2 cards and loses 2 life. Man, this is one of those names where it's like they haven't used that before and they're using it on this card.
I know.
Yeah.
Just reprint Sign in Blood, you cowards. This being an instant, I guess, is kind of good. I don't care about this. This is a D+.
No, this is filler minus. Yeah.
Defenestrate, here we go.
Yeah.
2 and a black instant, destroy target creature without flying.
Yeah, 2 and a black, 3 mana. Man. This is I'm really curious to see which of these 3 removal spells ends up being, the primo one. It might just be they're all good. But man, there's obviously all of the disturbed creatures, or most of them have flying, and then there's just like other spirits lying around. But this is like just such a premium removal spell versus the werewolf decks, right?
Yeah.
Those things cannot fly.
I mean, we've already gone through white and blue. Like, there are some big flyers.
Yeah, there are flyers for sure.
This is gonna kill like 80% of stuff.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see the numbers on this. But yeah, I don't know. B on this one? B+ maybe?
I think my vote is that I think Olivia's Midnight Ambush is better than this.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
That's where I'm gonna come in, I think. But yeah, I think this is still a B.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it. Sweet.
That's pretty crazy. Hobbling Zombie is next. What's this?
Yes, this is 3 mana, 2 and a black for a 2/2 Death Touch. When it dies, you make a 2/2 zombie token with Decayed.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Perfectly fine. C level card.
Black looks nice and controlling here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think a C sounds good to me.
Sweet. All right, let's move on.
We're just cruising. No Way Out. 2 and a black for a sorcery. Target opponent discards 2 cards. You make a Decayed token.
Yep, this is just like the black version of all those blue cards we saw. It's like, ooh, classic card, and add on Decayed. I think
this card is worse in a format with Flashback and Disturb.
For sure, yeah, I think so too. A lot of times the bonus they gave you on your discard cards in Innistrad sets where they would exile, and this one doesn't do that. So, I don't think you're going to be playing this off unless you're like really synergy heavy and you don't have other better Decayed stuff. So I'm going to give this like a D.
Yeah, I think D sounds good to me here.
Sweet. Next up, we got Shady Traveler. So this is 2 and a black, 3 mana for a 2/3 menace, and it's kind of interesting. It is a werewolf, so we were talking a second ago about you need the day and night thing to go into play if you want Olivia's removal spell to actually happen. You can do it yourself potentially in black. So yeah, it's a 2/3 menace on the front side for 3. The back side, it's a 4/4 menace.
Yeah, I like this a lot.
That's large. Yeah, I think
4/4 menace is large.
Still probably fillerish, like C-, but that's fine.
Yeah, C- sounds fine. If it were 3/2 menace on the front, a lot better.
Yeah.
than a 2/3 menace. Next is Bat Whisperer. 3 and a black for a 4/2 vampire. When it enters the battlefield, if an opponent lost life this turn, create a 1/1 black creature token with flying. That's a black bat. Quite
good if you can enable it. Quite medium if you can't. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. This is still another filler card, basically. C- level card. Probably even D+, I would say. It's 4 mana. You're not always going to get the 4/2.
I don't think this is this is filler, yeah.
Yeah, this is filler.
So you said C-?
I would say D+ even.
D+? All right, I'm in for D+.
All right, next up we've got Diagraph Hordes. This is 5 mana, 4 and a black for a 3/4 zombie. When Diagraph Horde enters the battlefield, create 2/2 black zombie creatures with Decayed. And when you do, exile up to 2 target cards from graveyards.
Why is Grave Titan a common?
Well, he's not quite, but it does provide a lot of. So if you're putting your opponent under the gun of I pressured you early, that's a lot more pressure. That's a lot of power.
I love this card. This card is really good.
It's gonna be interesting to see where this one falls. I think it could be like a real overperformer or just be like I think one of the interesting things going into the set is gonna really be getting a really solid understanding of just exactly how we feel about Decayed tokens. So if we're predicting that they're maybe a little bit better than they look, then I like this card a lot. If they end up being like trinkety, then lower on the card. But I'll start at a C.
I'm going C+.
Sweet. All right, cool.
This card's good. Black looks strong to me. Last up is Morkrut Behemoth. 4 and a black for a 7/6 zombie giant. As an additional cost to cast this spell, sack a creature or pay 1 and a black. And has menace.
Yeah, it's giant. This reads to like an uncommon to me as well. A little bit.
So here's the thing I'm very excited about.
Okay.
I am excited that I think the obvious thing to do in this format is going to be the tribal stuff. Like people are going to come in and they're going to draft their werewolves decks and their vampires decks. Mm-hmm. And people are going to look at Decayed and think it is junk.
Right.
And I'm going to break Decayed. Well, I guess not the first week because I'm going to be in Scotland, but maybe I'll break it on my phone. But I really want I feel like every card I look at, I'm like, this is good with Decayed. Decade's pretty good here. Like, so many synergies.
I almost feel like it's going to be like, people are going to overrate it because like, wow, so many tokens. And then they go, oh, they just like don't attack or block very well. And then, you're going to swoop in with like, but look, you can do this, you don't have to be attacking all the time with them. Yeah. I like this card. I think this is like a C+ level card. I mean, I don't, it's like an expensive card. It's 5 mana, but it's massive and it ends the game quickly.
Yeah,
and it blocks well.
It is massive. This has to be really hard to kill too.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously Defenestrate gets it.
Yeah, we've seen all the the black.
Well, but outside of those, so there's those 2 black common removal spells that can do it. Red can't deal with this.
Not easily. No.
Green can't deal with this. He's a 6 power or 5 power clear shot target.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Yeah, this card's good. I think it's tough to give 2 common 5 drops back to back C pluses.
I don't know. What do you think?
I'm gonna go C. I think I'm taking the Diagraph Horde over this.
Interesting. Okay, yeah, I feel like I'm swapped on that. So
is that because you think it'll be easier to get the Horde? You can just get the decay tokens from other stuff.
Yeah, basically. I think this is like a very good.
But exiling Flashback and Disturb.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm firm in my stance here, but
okay. First uncommon, more removal. Foul play is 1 and a black. Sorcery, destroy target creature with power 2 or less. Investigate.
Yeah, so this one's interesting because if you ever snag something with this that costs like 3 or 4 mana, wow, you really feel like you're getting away with something there. But it's kind of narrow. You're probably going to be able to target something, a decay token at very worst, and cycle this, right? But it's not just like I think you're taking the common removal spells over this one.
Well, maybe
2 power is kind of narrow.
It's not that narrow. It's a lot. Like, half the commons and uncommons have like 2 power a lot of the time.
And sometimes they don't.
And here, we've got a lot of 0 power stuff too. Like,
this also gets blown up by like a trick.
I guess this doesn't exile too. Blown out by a trick. You still get the. Oh no, you don't get to investigate.
No, you don't.
Yeah,
you don't.
Fizzles. Yeah, all right. I'm in for C plus, I guess.
Yeah, C plus. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Next up, we've got Ghoulish Procession. This is 1 of the black for an enchantment. Whenever 1 or more non-token creatures dies, you make a decay token.
What is the highest grade I can give a card? This
This
isn't just yours.
Yeah,
your opponent's stuff dies, you get a decayed token.
Oh, sorry. There's an important line of text here I did skip over. This ability triggers only once per turn.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, you're still happy.
I'm not greedy. I'll take one. I'll take 1 zombie per turn. I think this card is good.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm a little lower on it. I think it's like a resource engine maker thing. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna start this as like a C. Don't kill me. Don't kill me, Ethan.
I'm not gonna kill you. I mean, it's just like I think this card is good.
Okay.
I'm gonna give this a B.
Okay, fair enough. No, you know what? I'm thinking about this playing out a little bit. I agree. I'm gonna bump it up to C plus. Yeah.
It doesn't help defend you, folks. Like, you're not behind every game of Magic.
Yeah,
you know.
That's actually.
Like,
if we hammer something home, you're not behind every game.
You're not always dead. You're not always on the back foot. And like, this has there's sacrifice is the thing that white black is doing, and Decayed has seemed relevant for about 95% of cards in the format. Like, just like, what if this was just when a creature dies, you make an energy or you make 2 energy.
Mm-hmm.
It's an engine piece, and I don't know if the engine pieces are going to be as supported as they were in Kaladesh Remastered or whatever, but if they are, if something like this is strong. And again, what if you're not like trying to do dirtily value stuff and you're just like, oh, we traded in combat and now I have a 2/2 that is also going to attack you next turn, and I have a zombie lord and it makes them 3/2s or whatever. Like, this card is good.
All right, next up, we've got another really good card. We've got Infernal Grasp. 1 in a black. Instant. Destroy target creature. What's the downside? It's pretty minor. You lose 2 life.
I'm in for it.
Yeah, A minus, I would say.
Yeah.
Yeah, just efficiency A minus.
All right, that's fair.
This is real good. Yeah.
Necrosynthesis is 1 in a black for an aura. Enchanted creature has whenever another creature dies, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. And when enchanted creature dies, look at the top X cards of your library, where X is its power. Put 1 of those cards into your hand and the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order.
So to say something nice about this card, it's got really cool art. But I don't think this is a card you want to put in your deck.
Really?
Yeah, it's like, so it kind of has that, what was the white enchantment that makes 1/1 tokens? I think it's got that issue where it's like you put your aura on your creature, then you hope, then you just wait a little bit because it doesn't do anything, right?
That's not true. Where X is its power, put this on a 4/4, and then you're put this on a 3/3 or 4/4.
I see.
There's not really.
Sure.
I don't. The problem, I think, like, so it mitigates the sort of aura thing ish.
If it lands, sure. Okay, it is better. Yeah. I will admit that.
But the problem is also that, like, it doesn't do a lot.
Yeah, I still don't, like, the problem is...
The backside of it, I'm like, oh, that draws a card. That's card selection. The front side, I'm like, what is this doing?
Yeah, the problem with it is, like, why are you taking that risk in the first place? Because the payoff of this card is not very good, right?
No, I'm with you there.
Yeah. I agree. It's not terrible, right? It's not just like, oh, man, like, you're getting so wrecked if this goes wrong. But at the same time, like, I don't think the upside is very good.
Oh, never mind. This is insane with Decayed. I take it all back. I love Decayed, and this is great with Decayed. No, I still think this is a bad card. I think this is
give it a D.
This is a D, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Spicy one. Heirloom Mirror. So this is 1 and a black for an artifact. As the activated ability, 1 tap, pay a life, and discard a card. Draw a card, mill a card, then put a ritual counter on Heirloom Mirror. Then if it has 3 or more ritual counters on it, remove them and transform the mirror. Actually, only as a sorcery. That's pretty important. Backside, when you transform it, is a 4/4 flyer that has the activated ability 3 mana, 2 and a black. Exile target creature card from a graveyard and put a 1/1 counter on this creature, the Inherited Fiend.
I really like this card.
Yeah. You're talking this one up on Loads Limited this week, where with Ben was a little bit.
And a lot of folks then in the LOL Discord were making comparisons to Treasure Map.
Yes.
Which I think is a great comparison, and this is, I think, better than Treasure Map in Limited.
Treasure Map's pretty good.
Treasure Map's great. But, like, Treasure Map is, here's some non-card advantage value into some card advantage. This is, here's some non-card advantage value that is better than Scry 1. Like, the front side is better than Scry 1. Like, Rummage plus Mill is better than that. And then you get a real good threat.
Little awkward. It's like the 4/4 is tapped still, right? That... When you on the last turn,
Alex, I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry that it's tapped.
No.
I'm sorry that it's tapped. It'll untap next turn. Don't worry.
Yeah.
Treasure Map is also tapped when you activate it too.
That is a good point. Yeah, I like the card. Does all the move pieces of cardboard from one game zone to the other game zone that we like in this format. What do you like?
I like it. I put it at a B.
I want to give it I'll be a little more conservative, say C+.
But what if you're behind? Well, I know. We're behind every game of Magic, apparently, so I don't know what to tell you. Next card is Vengeful Strangler. It's 1 and a black for a 2/1 human rogue. It can't block. When it dies, return it to the battlefield transformed under your control, attached to target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. And then Strangling Gasp is what it transforms into. It's an aura. Enchant creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. At the beginning of your upkeep, enchanted permanent's controller sacrifices a non-land permanent and loses 1 life.
This is like the most Punisher-y of Punisher cards, where it's like, on both sides, your opponent's given this, like, well, if you want to do this kind of bad thing or this kind of bad thing, right? They can either take the 2 damage each turn, or they can block and have it transform, and then when it flips, it's like, well, you can keep your sweet card that I enchanted, or you can sack something, you can sack something else, or just, sack the... Be one and done, sack the sweet thing I enchanted.
I'm dead. Someone in chat goes, Strangler no good. What if you're behind? I can't. That's perfect. That wins. Chewy 0, you win, chat. I love it. I hope that was tongue in cheek. This card's great.
Yeah, I think I always have a bit of reservation on the no block text, like I did with the Interloper too, right? But I do think this card. This is one of the cards I was thinking of. I was like, really trying to think of how this plays out. And I think most of the time, it's beneficial for you. Like, when you play this on turn 2, like I said, it has that thing, well, you're going to block it. Eventually, they have to block it. And as, we've played with that card from Theros Beyond Death.
Yeah, it was the same thing. It was 2 and a black. Aura, at the beginning of their upkeep, they sacked a thing. And
right.
Almost always, they just had to sack the thing that you put it on.
Yeah, you just can't, like, the times when they don't sack it is like when they're about to win the game with their flyer in 1 turn, right? And then it's like, all right, it's a little bit awkward, but most of the time, if it's early, they just have to. So, yeah, I like this card. I'm going to give it a C+.
I think I'm going B minus.
Oh, really?
I
Okay.
can't believe I like these aggro cards more than you.
I know,
I
right?
don't know what the heck's happening.
That's so funny.
What's up next?
All right. Yeah, next up we've got Morbid Opportunists. This is 2 and a black for a 1/3. It's a human rogue. Whenever one or more other creatures die, draw a card. This ability only triggers once each turn.
Yes, please.
That's a 1/3.
That's a 1/3. That's fine.
But if you're behind, yeah. No, this is
I mean, it's fine.
Yeah, I think it's good. It's not again, a value ability on a smaller static creature. Have a little bit of tension.
You are very likely to have to kill this in a game. Like your opponent plays this, and you are likely to have to kill this.
This is very good for your sweet Decayed deck, right? Like it's just like you're gonna draw a card pretty much every turn.
Yeah.
Yeah. I still think the opportunity cost is like opportunist. I still think the opportunity cost is like a little bit high. It's like a 3 mana 1/3, but I'm gonna give it a C+. Maybe a B-.
I think it might be B. I think it might be pushing B- here.
I'm gonna throw a little bit of caution to the wind here. Yeah.
Yeah. Plays well with Decayed. What doesn't? Am I right? Stromkirk Blood Thief is 2 and a black for a 2/2 vampire rogue. At the beginning of your end step, and if an opponent lost life this turn, put a +1/+1 counter on target vampire you control.
So, yeah, could come down as a 3/3 or grow your other cool evasion vampire. Would that be a flying or a menacey vampire? The more vampire cards we see, the more I'm just thinking like there's going to be just some insane curve outs with the vampire deck where you just feel like you had no chance in that game, right?
Do you think vampire in best of one at least? Do you think vampires is just the best deck?
I think it suffers from consistency issues. I think like even the consistency issue of sometimes I am on the draw is a bit of a knock against it, right?
That's fair, yeah.
Yeah, I think that the highs of this deck are going to be really high, and you're going to get steamrolled by it sometimes, and you're like, and then the lows are going to be like, all my cards don't really do that much. They're pretty like undercosted. I can't actually get in, But on this Blood Thief here, how do we like it? It's reasonable.
I mean, I wonder how much better is this than the 3/2 that drains for 2. Like it's not that. It's not that. I don't even know if it is better. Like. I think this card is a little too slow.
Yeah, I'm not huge on it either. I would probably give it like a C.
Yeah.
I could see being.
I think this might even be a C-. I don't know.
All right, I'm gonna say C.
Yeah,
I think either way.
C is where I'm at, but
yeah, fair enough.
Just noting.
Next up, we've got Covert Cut Purse. This is 3 mana, 2 and a black for a 2/1 human. When it enters the battlefield, destroy target creature you don't control that was dealt damage this turn. So we've seen cards like this before. The Deadeye card from Ikoria. I think we just saw Manticore and AFR. Similar thing, right? And it has Disturb, 4 and a black, 5 mana. Turns into Covetous Geist, which is a 2/2 flying death touch, and it's got the Disturb text of if it goes to the grave, you exile it. So it turns into a 2/2 flying death touch, which is fine.
I like this card a lot.
Yeah, I think so too. I think like the downside of these cards a lot of the time is that like you just don't find a spot where it lines up well, and it's just like sitting in your hand and you can't really do much about it, right? At least this has the buyout clause of I can just play this, trade it off, and then like have a death touch creature that will be able to block that big thing that I was having a problem with in the first place, right? And not having flash is a pretty big downgrade on this, I will say.
I mean, those whatever Manticore is crap.
Yeah, they're not great in the first
place. Those 4 mana flash cards that have this text are bad.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think this had not having flash is that big of a
It's mostly the backside that you're like happy about because
I like this card. You're Decayed stuff. I'm broken record now. Drink every time I say Decayed. But also the vampire. Like this is great in the vampires deck.
Yeah, that's
because your opponent's so incentivized to block you.
So what do I do? C+, B-?
I'm going B-. I think this card's.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna give it a C+. But...
This card's great. Next up, we've got Bane Blade Scoundrel, which is 3 and a black for a 4/3 human rogue werewolf. Whenever Bane Blade Scoundrel becomes blocked, each creature blocking it gets -1/-1 until end of turn. And then it's got Daybound. So the flip side is it's a 5/4 and has the same blocked text. Creatures get -1/-1 until end of turn. And whenever a creature blocking Bane Claim Marauder dies, that creature's controller loses 1 life.
It's got flanking
Yeah.
for the old school players.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is good. I mean, it's just hard to block 4-power creature that turns into a harder to block 5-power creature.
Right.
And the thing, the front side, it's like, well, sometimes I just don't try to win combat with it. I just chump it, where it's like, all right, like I'm just not gonna be able to block it. The backside punishes you for chumping a little bit too, so that's nice. Yeah, I like this. I'd give it a C+.
Oh, it seems powerful to me. I'm gonna go B-, I think.
Fair enough. Yeah. Next up, we've got Bloodtide Collector. This is 5 mana, 4 and a black for a Vampire Noble. It's a 3/4 flyer, and when it enters the battlefield, if an opponent lost life this turn, each opponent discards a card. I'm like pretty whelmed by this.
Yeah, I would say fairly like. Compare white gets a 5 mana 3/4 flyer that I think is arguably better than this with the ETB exile a thing from their yard.
It's also got the the thing we've talked about where it's like, discard loses a bit of value in this set, and the 5 mana 3/4 body is fine, but not that exciting. I don't think this is going to be a key part 10 of your good aggro vampire decks basically. So
I think it's like a C- to me.
Yeah, I think so too. Pretty filler.
So whelming. Here we go. Dreadhound, 4 black for a 6/6 demon dog. When it ETBs, mill 3 cards. Whenever a creature dies or a creature card is put into a graveyard from a library, each opponent loses 1 life. Hello.
It's big.
It
does a lot.
Yeah.
I like this card.
This checks a lot of boxes.
Yeah. Got slight Conrad vibes. Not quite
as busted, but
yeah, I think this card's pretty good.
The Ari Sam Black back and forth on this was like, this is Sir Conrad, and Sam's like, doesn't have activated ability, and Ari's like, it gets the first 3 abilities for free, and then Sam's like, only half the ability. Like, this card's great. I think this is a B.
Oh wow, that high. I was gonna go C+. I'll join you at B-, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's our first rare here? Champion of the Perished. Single black for a 1/1 zombie. Whenever another zombie enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on Champion of the Perished. This is like 100% a card that was designed with the name first.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah, no doubt about it. The old drum hit soundboard clip every time you read it.
Yeah.
This is... So the fact that like you're converting... Not even converting, but on top of your decayed things, like it's turning it into real stats. That's pretty powerful. Like Champion of the Parish, which is, the callback if you're not familiar, which did this for humans, was a pretty good card the first time around in Limited. And I think you're going to be, like, more zombies are going to be entering the battlefield than humans, did then. I think this card's quite good. I would probably give it like a B.
Yeah, it does have... Well, maybe not. I'm just trying to think. I guess there's just a ton of inherent zombie synergies in black that you could just play this in any deck. Like a red-black vampires deck probably doesn't want this.
No, probably not. Like, I think you have to be in a zombie deck for sure. But like, imagine you play this. You play any zombie on turn 2 or 3. Imagine playing that one that makes the 3/4 that makes two 2/2s.
No, buddy, I like the card. I'm just trying to think, like, is it a straight up B? Does it need a synergy grade? Does it need a build around grade? That's what I'm just trying to think about.
Sure.
I'm not doubting that this is a powerful card.
Right. Yeah, I would give it, if you want to give it a qualifier, I'd probably give it a synergy.
I think it's worth it. If you see this pack 1 pick 1, I want to draft a zombie deck, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm gonna go build around B. Cool.
All right, sounds good to me.
All right.
Yeah, somebody chats, I think, a little higher on the card than some people in chat are a little higher on the card than we are, even though we're pretty high on the card. But it does have the problem of, not the most impactful thing late. But then again, you're probably gonna have enough zombies in your deck where you can still grow to a sizable, sizable creature. Anyways, we'll move on.
But also, you have to grade cards optimistically. You can't a 1-drop is probably not great on turn 7. I don't think that's that. I don't think that means that's not a knock against the card, right? Like,
it's not an indictment against it.
No.
Right? Yeah. Your bomby 6-drop is not good when you've mulliganed and you're facing an aggressive deck, right? You don't want to look at the opposite way.
It's also not good when you're behind, and we know you're always behind. We're always behind in Limited.
We've got Jadar, Ghoul Color of Nephalia. This is 1 and a black for a 1/1 human wizard. At the beginning of your end step, if you control no creatures with Decayed, create a Decayed token. 2/2.
Oh.
Sorry, it is a 1/1, but it creates 2/2s.
This is so good.
Yeah, I like
this
it.
This is good with Decayed. Yeah, I like this. B, I don't know.
This is another engine card, right?
Yeah.
It's just like you just keep making them, So,
yeah.
Yep, big fan.
Yeah, this is great.
You gonna give it a B?
I'm giving it a B. Yeah, I could even be a B plus. I don't know. Like,
all right, I'm gonna give it a B. I think.
Yeah. Okay. Next up is the Meat Hook Massacre. Great name, great art. This is X black for a, oh my gosh, why won't it let me grade that as a B? Okay, X black for a legendary enchantment. When it enters the battlefield, each creature gets -X until end of turn. Whenever a creature you control dies, each opponent loses a life. Whenever a creature an opponent control dies, you gain a life.
Whew. That's a powerful effect.
This card is, so it's a Wrath that you get to, that scales, right? You get to sort of decide.
Engineer it a bit, yeah.
Obviously hard to kill big stuff.
Yeah, it's one of the downsides of it, but
and then it leaves behind a Blood Artist enchantment, effectively.
It's gonna be real good against your Decayed decks there, Ethan.
Real good against, but also real good with.
Sure, that's true too.
And who's more likely to have a Decayed deck, me or my opponent? Take that.
I would place money on you.
Take that. That's easy money right there.
Yeah.
This is an A.
I can't imagine not being an A. Yeah. Did you see the tweet from Gabby? She drew.
Yeah. Where's I can't unsee that.
Yeah. It looks like a little monkey swinging from vines. Yeah, I can't even see it either. All right. Yeah. A for that. For the Meat Hook.
Yeah.
We've got Slaughter Specialist. This is 1 and a black for a 3/3 Vampire Warrior. When Slaughter Specialist enters the battlefield, each opponent creates a 1/1 white human creature token. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Slaughter Specialist.
What?
So it's like an overstated creature for its cost, right? It's a little bit bigger, and it grows. And the downside is you give your opponent a token.
That doesn't seem like that bad to me.
Oh, no, it's not. It's a good card.
This is a good card.
Yeah, this is a very efficient 2-drop.
With types.
We've been saying this over and over, but it scales, right? Like, all these things that start scaling. That downside is pretty minimal for what you're getting here.
It could even be seen as an upside. You give them a body that can die. Huh?
Sure. Yeah, I guess. Yeah,
this is a B. This is another B.
Yeah, I give it a B. I agree.
Next up is Tainted Adversary. 1 and a black for a 2/3 zombie with Death Touch. When it enters the battlefield, you may pay 2 and a black any number of times. When you pay this cost 1 or more times, put that many +1/+1 counters on Tainted Adversary. Then create twice that many 2/2 black zombie creature tokens with Decayed.
I mean, just like the rest of this cycle, very good for the 2-mana side. Very good when you kick it. I can't really say much bad about this. 2/3 Death Touch brawls really well, right? Like,
yeah. What about
you're gonna have to. They're gonna be trading down on this a lot of the time, right? They're gonna have to block with their 3 or 4 mana card if they want to, kill it in combat. And of course, if you make it a 3/4, it's even better.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in for this. This is similar to the blue one. It's probably around the A- range.
Yeah, I think A-. Well. Yeah, this is A-. I mean, this is basically just that common, except it has Death Touch and is modal.
I think one of the things to note about these cards, and a lot of other cards in the set too, but it's just that, like, we've seen a lot of ways in white and black to buy things back. So your bombs are just going to be a little bit more effective than they normally would be, I think.
Yes, that's true.
Like, there's just more recursion than we normally see.
But I'm going to go back to, like, you're so hot on this.
On this card?
This kicked once or whatever.
Yeah.
Is the same as that common, except the common doesn't have Death Touch, but the common exiles 2.
It's so big that you can cast this on 2, though. It's huge.
Yeah, no, I get that, but I'm just saying, like, I just think that really bumps up that makes that common look real tasty to me.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I don't think it takes much convincing, but fair enough. Yeah. Point taken.
Yeah. All right, next we got Bloodline Culling. White, 1 black for an instant. Choose one. Target creature gets -5/-5 until end of turn, or creature tokens get -2/-2 until end of turn.
Oh no!
Oh no! What happened to all my decayed tokens?
Yeah, this is nice. This is just, it's a solid removal spell, and yeah, cleans up those decay tokens.
Yeah.
It's like a B plus level removal spell, probably.
Probably B plus given the flexibility, I guess.
Yeah, I think so too. Right. Oh man, this one. Mask of Gristlebrand. So this is 1 black for a legendary artifact equipment. Equipped creature has flying and lifelink. Whenever equipped creature dies, you may pay X life or X is power. If you do, draw X cards. Equip cost 3.
I mean, that is a hefty cost. 3 mana and equip 3.
It's such a high upside.
But what you get is huge.
So one of the things, one of the knocks that we give to, high equip costs are that, like, often the nice thing to do with equipment is, like, moving around post-combat, moving on blocks, stuff like that, right? And also, like, equipping takes up tempo in a way, where it's like you're not affecting the board. This makes up for that a lot, where you don't actually want to move this around that much, and, like, gaining a chunk of life really helps. And I just think this card is, like, a real beating. Yeah, you can get out tempo some percentage of the time, but even if you equip and they kill it, you're gonna be able to draw some cards, or you got a lifelink kit in. I don't know. I don't think this card is all that beatable.
No,
I'm willing to give this an A.
Yeah, I'm down with A for the Mask of Grizzlebrand.
Sweet, yeah.
Next is Cursive Leeches. 2 and a black for an Aura Curse enchant player. As this permanent transforms into Cursive Leeches, attach it to a player. At the beginning of enchanted player's upkeep, they lose 1 life and you gain 1 life. And has Daybound, so then it flips to a 4/4 Leech Horror with lifelink. Mm-hmm. So, hold on a second. So, this comes into play, you enchant a player. At the beginning of that player's upkeep, they lose a life and you gain a life. Whenever this flips, it turns into a 4/4 lifelink, and then when it flips back, you attach it back to a player.
Yeah. It's just weird templating. It works the way you think it would work, basically. Like, you get this on the front side, the
front side is so bad.
Yeah, it's not great. Like, we had this whole back and forth between, we had, ill-gotten inheritance in Ravencillians, and we went to that the shrine, the sanctum.
Dogged Pursuit as well.
Yeah, exactly. The front side is not great, but 4/4 lifelink's not bad, and this might be a little bit better than it looks because it consistently enables your vampire, life loss stuff.
No, it doesn't.
No, you're just straight.
No, it doesn't. Right at the beginning of enchanted players' upkeep.
Oh, it's a good point. Yeah, no, you are
that.
Right. Indeed, straight no, Ethan. Yeah. I apologize.
Not no in a I refuse to accept it. Yeah. Just no in the rules sense.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like a 3 mana 4/4 lifelink sometimes. Yeah, this card's not that appealing.
I mean, again, like all Daybound, Nightbound cards, if you want this to become a 4/4, it'll become a 4/4. You get to you just do nothing on your next turn, and that's fine. I just don't think that's that good.
Okay, yeah, I'm a little bit lower on it. I agree. I think it's still decent though. I think it's like a C. Yeah,
I'm fine with C.
Cool. Okay. All right. Next up, we've got Graveyard Trespasser. This is a 2 and a black, 3 mana, 3/3. It's a human werewolf. It's got a ward, discard a card, and it says when it enters the battlefield or attacks, exile up to 1 target card from a graveyard. If a creature card was exiled this way, each opponent loses a life, and you gain a life. And then the Nightbound card is a 4/4 ward, discard a card. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, exile up to 2 creatures from a graveyard. For each creature exiled this way, each opponent loses a life and gain a life. You gain a life, sorry.
Yeah, this card is great.
Yeah, it's pretty solid. It's nothing, not like super bomb or anything, but just a really efficient creature with a good ability, hard to deal with. Again, there's that incidental graveyard hate kind of stuff. I think it's just all around a solid card to give it a B.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. Also, kind of weird that the Daybound side is clearly nighttime. Like,
right.
Happened with the art direction there.
What happened there? Yeah, for sure. Next we have Gerund, Corrupted Bishop, 2 and a black for a 2/3 legendary creature human cleric. Whenever Gerund, Corrupted Bishop enters the battlefield or another non-token human you control dies, you lose 1 life and create a 1/1 white human creature token. Pay 2. Target human you control gains lifelink until end of turn. Can target itself. At the beginning of your end step, if you have exactly 13 life, you may pay 4 black. If you do, transform Gerund, and it becomes Ormondal, the Corruptor. It's a 6/6 legendary creature demon with flying, trample, lifelink. Sacrifice another creature, draw a card.
What a ridiculous card.
Yeah. What the, like, it slices, it dices. Like, what doesn't this card do?
Yeah, it gives you 3/4 worth of stats for 3 mana. It's another running meme of this stream has been, or this episode here has been, lifelink is busted, right? And it gives lifelinks to your humans.
Well, it's so cool, right? It does, like, you have the, it gets you to that 13 pretty well with the, like, okay, I can gain this amount of life, or I can sack a thing to lose a life. Like, it really does this.
Yep. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be, like, I think you're going to have to work a little bit to flip it to the busto side, but it's not going to be that hard, and the front side is also pretty great. So I think this is just an A.
Yeah, I agree. I like you, Alex, and I like this card as well. So.
Well, I'm glad to hear. I like you too, Ethan.
Poor Gucci.
I wonder what we think about Gisa, Glorious Resurrector. So this is 2 black for a 4/4 human wizard. If a creature an opponent controls would die, exile it instead. That's already pretty good. At the beginning of your upkeep, put all creature cards exiled with Gisa onto the battlefield under your control. They gain Decayed. Pretty cool.
I mean, you had me at Decayed.
Yeah.
It's 4 mana 4/4. Exile stuff. That's great. Mm-hmm. But all creature cards exiled with it onto the battlefield under your control? That's wild.
Yeah, it's really good.
But they can't block.
Imagine if it was just this, and it said, every time something would die, you exile it and you make a 2/2 decay token, right? And this is like quite a bit better than that.
Right, because they have their power and toughness, right? And they have their activated abilities.
Yep, everything's just the same.
They just can't block, and they
can't flip if.
Sure. This all seems nuts to me, and I give it a B+.
Yep, I agree with that. All right, our last black card. I think, Ethan, we've finally come to the end of our little decay. It's our decay shenanigans. No more decaying for today.
Fine.
We've got Lord of the Forsaken. This is 4 black, 6/6. It is a flying trample demon. It has an activated ability, a black mana, sacrifice another creature. Target player mills 3. Has another ability, pay a life, add a colorless mana. Spend this mana only to cast a spell from your graveyard.
Yes.
Yep.
This card's nuts. We should go back to the other card. Folks are pointing out that you just put the cards into play, so they can transform.
Cool.
They're not tokens.
Wow.
They're not tokens.
Oh, wow. That's really cool. Awesome. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, this card's nuts.
I mean, 6/6 flying trample is good on its own, and then if you weren't killing them fast enough with the 6/6 flying trample,
right? Like the trinket attacks, I'm just like, how are they not dead? Like, I can do all this other stuff. It's like they're dead. You're attacking them with a giant monster.
This is just it's just there to really punish the people who are putting the Bard, the Cemetery, or whatever that card is in their deck, right, Ethan?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is an A-.
Yeah, I like it as an A-.
Great. All right. That's going to do it for black.